Is Nintendo getting another reality check? Because a couple of weeks ago Nintendo shockingly raised the prices of all of their accessories, and GameStop just threw them in the bargain bin for less than the price of a sandwich. And I know what you're thinking, Omniarch, that's just called a sale, nothing to see here, right? Well, sure, but if you have to discount a product by 70% just to sell it, that means demand for the product has hit rock bottom and they are doing anything they can to move units. So this isn't just a sale, this is a reality check for Nintendo's entire pricing strategy. Like, imagine Apple releasing a $1,000 iPhone and Walmart turns around immediately and says, hey, nah, listen, hey, these are $300. That would definitely get people's attention and probably would make headlines, and that's exactly what's going on here. And the best part about all of this is that this isn't the only shakeup in the gaming industry this week. So today it's time to strap in, folks, because it's going to be a bumpy ride and we're going to dive deep to figure out what exactly is going on. But first, what's going on, guys? Cheers. Okay, let's set the stage here. It's August of 2014. You're at E3 and Nintendo just reveals a brand new product called Amiibo. These new plastic Nintendo figurines are launching alongside the brand new Smash Bros for Wii U, and they are retailing for $12.99. But that was over a decade ago, and today prices for Amiibo are through the roof. The latest Amiibo announced by Nintendo during their September Nintendo Direct are not only bigger and better than any Amiibo we've ever seen in terms of size and detail and possibly quality as well, but the price of these things is also bigger. And well, better is only the term you would use if you are Nintendo, because the new Super Mario Galaxy Amiibo, that's right, Mario Galaxy Amiibo, the game that came out for the Nintendo Wii all the way back in the day, it's getting new Amiibo and they are $40 at retail. The new Metroid Prime 4 Beyond Amiibo are $30 or $40 for the Samus on a motorcycle, and the new Kirby Air Riders Amiibo with swappable characters and vehicles are $50 US. Might I remind you guys that Hollow Knight Silk Song is $20 for the full game. Back when Mario Galaxy first came out, the game was $50, and now we have Amiibo for their games costing $50. It's actually an insane price increase over the years. But it's not just these newer premium Amiibo that are increased in price. Nintendo also increased the price of the older Amiibo. They went from $13 originally to $16 later down the line, and finally they are now $20, except they're actually not, because GameStop just gave Nintendo a reality check and lowered the price of these Amiibo down to $6. So originally, again, $20 down to $6. That is a 70% discount for these Amiibo. And I know what you're thinking, oh, maybe these are used. Nope, these are brand new in-box Super Mario or Smash Bros Amiibo. We've got the Pikachu Amiibo, we got Theo behind me coming to say hi. Go ahead and say hi, Theo, and remind everybody to like the video. Hi, buddy. And like, look at this lineup of characters, right? These aren't like the bargain bin garbage Amiibos that nobody cares about, like Sora from Kingdom Hearts, Pikachu, Charizard. These are beloved characters of their biggest franchises. We have Banjo-Kazooie, we have the Guardian Amiibo from Breath of the Wild. I thought this was more than $20 originally. I thought this was like 25 or 30 because it is so big. I actually have this one. And like, look, some of these Amiibo are really old at this point. Most people already have them, and maybe that's why people aren't buying them, and thus GameStop feels like they have to lower their price just to move these units. But one thing is for sure, if GameStop has to lower them to $6 just to move these units, why would they have raised the price to $20 to begin with, right? And just to be clear, it's not GameStop that raised the price, it's Nintendo that raised the MSRP of these units. But even if you make the argument that these are the oldest Amiibo, that everybody who already wants these has these, right, that argument doesn't really hold up when you look at posts like this from just 3 months ago in the Nintendo Switch 2 subreddit. $30 price for Amiibos is not going well for Nintendo. Here is a picture of what appears to be, I guess, a Target store, or maybe this is a Best Buy. It looks like probably a Best Buy actually, but you can see that the shelves are absolutely stocked to the brim. I don't even know if they sold maybe they sold a single unit over here. Like, no one is buying these for $30. And remember those Street Fighter 6 Amiibo that came out and they were a shocking $40 earlier this year, they immediately hit the bargain bin over at Walmart for $22 here. So right away they got a 50% reduction in their price. So across the board, it seems to be the case that Nintendo is slowly inching up the price of Amiibo, and more people are saying, actually no, we don't even care about these anymore. This is a cool gimmick from over a decade ago and we're done. There's so many of them, you can't collect them all anymore. So these retailers like GameStop have to basically give them away. So the question is, what is Nintendo going to do about this? They've already announced these price increases. Like, how much you want to bet that these brand new Amiibo also just sit on the shelves? Like, are they just going to manufacture fewer of them? Like, they expect, okay, we'll sell half as many, so we'll just manufacture half as much. Like, I don't really understand what their strategy is going to be moving forward, but they have like doubled and tripled down on these price increases, and they've been proven time and time again that people are not going to pay those prices for this product. It just does not make sense at all, especially when the price of everything else is going up alongside it, right? We talked about in a recent video how the brand new Galaxy 1 and 2 bundle is $70 for the Switch 1 or 2. So again, this is a re-release, or in the case of Galaxy 1, it is a re-release because it's already on the original Switch, right? And this is again a $70 bundle for these two games. And so not only are you charging more for the console, you're charging them more for the games, you're charging them more for the re-releases, and finally the re-releases apparently in some cases might not even look as good as the original game back on the Wii. Now let me be abundantly clear here, like these games are definitely better looking than the original, but there are some aspects of these remakes that just simply are lacking, right? This post was thrown up on r/Nintendo Switch one day ago, and it goes on to share a couple of screenshots from the trailer that was shown for Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, and they went on to say, I and others have noticed this weird inconsistency regarding the new port's textures, where some of them are a straight improvement in detail while others look completely washed out. Take these 5 examples, especially the first 2 of the diamond plate metal and textured soil from the original games. The metal texture is non-existent and the soil has lost most of its patchy artistic detail. So let's take a look here. Okay, off on the left you have the Nintendo Wii edition, and you can see that the texture of this metal plating here is this sort of diamond cross hatching texture that you see often on plate metal, right? And off on the right is the trailer footage of this remake or remaster for the Switch 1 and 2, and there's just no texture here at all. In the second image here, you can see again on the left hand side, I don't know if this is the Wii edition or if it's the Super Mario 3D collection. I assume it's the 3D collection, but you can see that the dirt itself has a really nice, again, artistic patchy style. It's like the art style of the games. And on the right here, this is during the trailer, the brand new trailer for these $70 remakes. The dirt has just no texture at all, really. The third picture here shows the golden metal in the background here has some shading and texture to it, whereas in the new trailer it's completely flat. Next we have this picture of riding Yoshi, and the wall in the background of the Wii version definitely looks worse than this brand new trailer footage of the remakes. But if you look at the sort of checkered carpet material here, you could see that in the sort of remaster there's no textured carpet at all, it's just squares, right? And in the final example, I showed this before, but if you look at the stone on the ground, you can see in the 3D collection version the stonework is like, it's got a lot more texture than what you see in this new $70 remake stone flooring, right? And so like, look, is this the end of the world? No, absolutely not. It's not that big of a deal. And it's also the case that maybe they showed these trailers when some of these textures weren't finished, right? I mean, that's completely possible. So let's not make a mountain out of a molehill here. But again, I just, it's worth pointing out that Nintendo is sort of showing off, in the best case scenario, they're showing off an unfinished product, right? Like when the game finally comes out, maybe it won't have these texture issues and then everyone's happy, right? Well, they still won't be happy about the price, but even still, that's the best case scenario. Worst case scenario is that some of the textures in these new $70 games are just dog shit, right? Like that it is what it is, and that should be the easiest thing to fix in an HD remake, right? So not only is the price of the console higher, the games are higher, the price of the remakes is higher, you're getting in some cases a little bit of cut corners for these remakes, even though again, I want to be abundantly clear, the remakes do look, as a package, they look much better than the original, obviously, right? And then on top of that, they're trying to charge extra for Amiibo, and they're not even selling, forcing retailers to lower the price. But it gets a little bit crazier than that, because let's take a look at Nintendo Nintendo's competition. Lenovo has canceled some pre-orders of its 1100 Legion Go 2, saying it's quote substantially exceeded expectations, end quote. So if you guys don't know what the Legion Go 2 is, this is effectively Lenovo's entry into the handheld gaming market. It is very similar, from what I can tell, I don't have one, but it is similar in function to the Steam Deck, except it has Xbox Game Pass. I believe it runs Windows. Don't quote me on that, I could be completely wrong. I'm not super well versed on the Legion Go 2, but even if you don't know anything about this product at all, one quick look at the form factor and the screenshot here, and you can tell that this is a handheld gaming device that is effectively a competitor to the Switch and Switch 2. Now, how much of a competitor? It's a small competitor. Let's not kid ourselves, right? Like Switch and Switch 2 are selling millions and millions of units, whereas you know, the original Legion did not sell nearly close as much, but the Legion Go 2 maybe could change that. I mean, if you have to cancel pre-orders, then that means, as they say, it's exceeding expectations. And what does this mean for Nintendo? Well, it means that their competition is getting some people to turn their head. They're looking at the competition and saying, hey, maybe this is actually a good value proposition for us or for me, and maybe we'll just go with that instead of going with whatever Nintendo is releasing. Because, well, I mean, based on this, like if you get Game Pass, it's a subscription service. You pay one price every month or every year or whatever, and you don't have to worry about the increasing price of games that come to that platform. Games like Halo, games like Call of Duty, whatever shows up there. And some of these games you can't play on the Switch 2 or the original Switch, right? Like if you want to play the Master Chief Collection, good luck. I mean, at least right now. Maybe it will come to the Switch 2 eventually, who knows? There's a lot going on in the gaming scene right now, but let's see what Lenovo actually had to say here. Quote, "We are working diligently with our teams worldwide to fill these orders as quickly as possible. We truly appreciate the overwhelming support of Legion fans and ask for your patience while we work to get the Legion Go Gen 2 into your waiting hands." The good news is that more units are already on their way to major retailers globally, so you can expect to see availability in retail outlets and websites improving in the coming weeks. That said, we will need to cancel some pre-orders placed directly on Lenovo.com. We don't believe in holding on to customer payments for products we can't ship in a timely manner. As soon as our online inventory is replenished, Lenovo.com will show updated availability and ordering will reopen. We know this is frustrating and we're truly sorry for the inconvenience it caused, especially to our most passionate fans. Okay, now look, let's be a little bit honest, right? $1,100 for this thing is way outside the price point of the Switch 2 even. Everyone complained about the Switch 2 being $450 or $500, and this is more than double that, so they're not exactly direct competitors, but it is certainly an alternative option for customers who do have the money that they want to spend, but they don't like the direction that Nintendo has been going lately with all of the negativity surrounding the Switch 2 and Nintendo in general, right? The remote bricking of consoles, the takedown of certain websites, lawsuits involving Pal World, right? There's a lot that people don't like Nintendo for right now. Maybe people are putting their money where their mouth is. So it's going to be interesting to see what Nintendo does with their pricing strategy moving forward, because if people aren't spending 20 bucks on Amiibo, you can't just leave the price there, and you certainly can't raise the price. It makes absolutely no sense. Are they going to discontinue some Amiibo? Like, what is the deal here? How is this going to work in the future? And the saddest part about all of this for us gamers is that it's not just Nintendo raising the prices across the board. This weekend, the news broke that Microsoft is raising prices on the Xbox consoles in the US again. I think this is the third price increase for the Xbox consoles in the last year. So let's take a look at the new pricing breakdown here. The Xbox Series S 512 gigabyte went from $380 up to $400. The Series S went from $430 to $450. Series X went from $600 to $650. Series X Digital went from $650 to $600. And of course, the top of the line model, 2TB Galaxy Black Special Edition, is $800. So this price increase really surprised a lot of people. I mean, not the fact that it happened. I think people are getting used to price increases as of the last few months. This is happening in basically all industries, all sectors across the board. Everything you know and love is getting more expensive in the United States and globally across the world. But what's shocking about this is that nobody's playing. I mean, what are we talking about? No one's buying an Xbox anymore. Like what Xbox hasn't manufactured physical game discs in a while, right? So like it just seems like Xbox doesn't even care care about the actual consoles anymore. All they care about is Game Pass and digital downloads and basically Microsoft Windows, right? Like, just discontinue the Xbox. Everyone knows it's over. Like, you know it, I know it, everyone knows it. Like, in the future, if you're not going to release physical games on disc, it's just a shitty computer that you connect to your TV. So like, why don't you just stop? Like, just make computers at that point. Like, I don't even understand the point of the Xbox anymore. They're obviously in last place when it comes to the console wars. The only thing keeping them relevant is Xbox Game Pass, which is truthfully a good value for consumers, even though the price of that keeps going up as well. But besides that, like, if you're a physical game collector or anything, no one's really using the Xbox unless you just can't let that controller go. And I don't really blame you, but you can use that controller on PC. So like, at the end of the day, there's really no reason for the Xbox to even exist anymore. They're not really getting exclusives. I mean, Gears of War is on the PS5 now. Like, what are we talking about, right? So at least Nintendo has company in 2025 when it comes to really confusing price increases for products that nobody really cares about or is buying anyway. But guys, consider dropping a thumbs up on this video if you made it all the way to the end, because it really helps me beat the YouTube algorithm. I'm a small channel after all, and every single piece of engagement really helps out the channel. So drop a thumbs up down below. Help me combat the Nintendo fanboys that are obviously going to hate this video. Comment down below your thoughts on all the price increases going on in the industry, and do you applaud GameStop for sort of clapping back at Nintendo and giving them a reality check and saying like, look, nobody's buying this stuff? Let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below, and if you're new here, consider subscribing to the channel and clicking the bell if you like the video to be notified the next time that I upload gaming or tech news. And with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been Omniarch. I'll talk to you guys again soon. Peace.